Drew.
Hi, Tag. I see all the members showing up little by little.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Barbara.
Daryl.
Good evening, Taj.
Hi.
Good evening, Jaden.
Hey there.
Good evening, Melinda. There's another Melinda.
Mm-hmm.
That's unusual.
Oh, almost everyone's here. Almost.
Hi.
Good evening, Tim's iPhone. If you want to rename. Good evening, Ben.
Hi, Tim Fair.
Good to see you, Tim.
Good to be here.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, we have enough to get started.
Yeah, Andrew's here. He's another one.
Yeah, Andrew.
Ben Howell's here. Yeah, I think you pretty much got most of the people.
Well, good evening, everyone. Sounds like the recording has started, so let's go ahead and get started then. We are excited to have our first meeting of the Corrections Advisory Committee. And before we get into some of the more formal stuff, just wanted to open up
Recording in progress.
to greet one another. I'd ask that for the sake of this evening, while the meeting is set up in the Zoom platform is set up in meeting format, that we would allow for the engagement of committee members first, and then we'll call on the general public at an appropriate time. So we're going to start with a quick meet and greet of the committee members, and then we will move into anyone else that would like to share and say hello. And then we will go into committee responsibilities. So for the sake of getting to know one another, if you can share your name, what makes you passionate about participating on this body, and what you've come to offer. So I can start us. My name is Melinda Johnson. What makes me passionate about participating on this body is I believe the state of Connecticut is in an exciting moment where we are reconsidering the structure of our justice system and how business is done within those settings. I think we are moving very steady pace toward reforming the way that we reform those who are returning home to us. And with that said, I think the consciousness of being able to participate on a body where people are thinking about this particular matter from multiple angles and ensuring through the appointment or the finding of an ombudsman that it is also a movement that's led with transparency. So those are the things that make me excited.
I'm in the meeting, Cindy. What do you want?
What I have to offer.
Oh God. Okay, bye.
Is sorry, if you can mute, if everyone can mute. What I have to offer to this body, serving in the role of co-chair, I have experience in working with multi-stakeholder spaces in order to achieve a common goal. And I have a little bit of experience in public service on a local matter, serving as a member of the Commission for Women and Girls here in the city of Hartford. So that is the other non-related stuff, I'm a mom, I work a 9 to 5, and take care of what needs to be taken care of. So I am excited to be with you all this evening, and I will pass it to Daryl.
Thank you, Melinda. Thank you for holding this space. Appreciate it. My name is Daryl McGraw, formerly incarcerated person in long-term recovery, which means I haven't used a substance since May 7, 2007. Wear many different hats in the state of Connecticut. In this space here, I'll be representing as an impacted person of the criminal justice system. I spent 10 years of my life cycling in and out of the correctional system. So I plan on bringing some of that knowledge to the space. My professional hat that I wear, I'm the DEI director for the Connecticut Public Defender's Office. And so that's some of the work that I do there during the day. And I'm excited to be in this room. I'm excited to be in this space, having had the opportunity to write the ombudsman and get no response when I was incarcerated. I'm hoping that us as a body can create a space and an opportunity for people to write and get a fair response and get some things done and get some things changed in the Connecticut correctional system. So it's way overdue for this to be happening, and I'm just honored and privileged to be in this space. So thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Daryl. Do you want to throw it to somebody?
Oh, sure. I don't know all the members, so I think I'll let you do the throwing until I get to know everybody who I should be throwing to and who not.
Understood. Not a problem. Co-chair Taj, you can introduce.
Hi everyone. I'll start by making the unfortunately necessary and in my day-to-day explanation of how to pronounce my name. And everybody is forgiven in advance for if you get it wrong, but it's Tig, like tiger. Just don't look at it, and maybe you'll have a chance to pronounce it correctly. But yeah, I'm thrilled to be here as well. So I'm a lawyer. As in co-chair, I'm the at least designated legal expert. So I hope to bring some knowledge of the law, some experience with the law to the committee, but also just kind of an open and inquisitive mind, which I think is what tends to work in the legal practice, not exclusively there. But I'm really interested in learning a lot from everybody else on the committee. What I'm passionate about, or why I'm passionate to be here, I will say, in my practice, I have represented incarcerated persons in lawsuits in a pro bono capacity, and through that experience, both my own experience litigating and also in speaking with inmates, I found it frustrating that is the way that inmates are sort of forced to, or believe they're forced to, resolve their problems, right? Through a grievance process, through litigation, which often doesn't get very far because there's a lot of obstacles placed in the way, and it's a pretty blunt instrument. So I'm really hopeful that collectively, and with the help of the ombuds that we'll be appointing, we can make some strides towards different ways of improving conditions for both incarcerated persons, for also the employees of the Department of Corrections, who I think probably have their own complaints, right? And I'm hopeful that we'll be a good sounding board for all those issues. And I guess I'll just quickly say I live in New Haven. I have a wife and 4 kids, and so if I seem frazzled, it's because I am, and I hope you'll all bear with me on the day-to-day. I'll throw it over to my left. I see John. Is it Cipolle or Chipotle?
Yep, Cipolle. You had it right the first time.
Okay.
So yeah, John Cipolle. Quick little intro to myself. I was an officer for 7 years. Recently promoted to counselor trainee. I'll be a full counselor after a year of probation. I'm mostly looking forward to just learning more and expanding more in my career, and being able to offer more of my knowledge and experiences from the department as a whole to this committee, and just being a voice and doing my best to be professional and having integrity and do what's right. And hopefully we're all on board with that, and we all could do what's right, whether it's for the population or it's for the staff members. I just want this to be a good thing for everybody all around, and hopefully there's no malice, and we could all walk away from here meeting new people and just doing something good for our community.
Thank you, John. I will throw it to John Bowen.
There you go. Thanks, Melinda. Yeah, I'm going to piggyback off what you had originally said. There's definitely need for some changes inside the prison. Like I said, I've been there. I retired just recently with 21 years. I've seen a lot. I've worked in several facilities. Not a lot of people know, but I will share this with, with you folks. Not only did I work in a jail, but my sister was also an inmate for several years on the drug end of the spectrum. And I know she dealt with some less than mediocre issues down at the females facility, which I tried to correct. It really didn't work at my level of just an officer. So I don't know because I wasn't incarcerated myself, but I do know the ins and outs, like what it is like to be incarcerated and what it's like to work there in a jail setting. Like I said, I have 21 years. I'm retired. I have no, when I first started, I was one of the guys that a senior officer told me, and he passed away last year. He says, you come here to work. You're not there to punish the inmates. They were already punished when they went in front of the judge. They were given their punishment. They were given their sentence. My role, or our role, is just to make sure they remain safe, staff remain safe, and the public remains safe. We're not there to add insult to injury, if you will. So hopefully, like John said, I can learn a lot more. And hopefully with this program or this committee, some changes could be made, which are needed. And just to dovetail all of that, I am married for 22 years, 2 boys, 1 grandson, live in Enfield. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, John. As we move forward, I'd like to acknowledge the comments of the general public that are in the chat. And we appreciate the emphasis and importance on person-centered language. And we thank and we take that under advice, and thank you. Moving right along, looking for Mr. Ben Howell.
Hello, everyone. I'm actually a doctor, so it's Dr.
Thank you,
Howell,
sir.
but it's okay either way. But as I said, my name is Ben Howell. I'm a physician here in New Haven. I'm faculty at the Yale School of Medicine and in the SAFE Center for Health and Justice. I think I bring 2 primary perspectives to this group. One is as a doctor who is taking care of people in the community who are released from incarceration, and knowing that firsthand experience, or sort of working with that population, and sort of knowing how the conditions of incarceration stay with people for the rest of their life, and how that can impact. For me as a general internist, I appreciate the physical health outcomes, but obviously there are many mental health outcomes that are long-term sequelae of the conditions of incarceration. My other hat is as a researcher here at Yale. My focus is on the health outcomes of people who have been exposed to incarceration, especially after they return to the community. And I can say, again, sort of not just in the specific, but in the general, on average, we can see the marks of the conditions of incarceration on people well after they are released. So my hope is to bring that knowledge and experience to this group, and to gain sort of knowledge and wisdom from the people who are here in this room, because I will share that I will agree with many that I think there's a great opportunity to improve the conditions of incarceration, and to benefit the people who are incarcerated. And I agree sort of with people that for the people who work in those settings as well. Those carceral environments are unhealthy for everyone who enter those gates, and hopefully we can improve that for our state. As a person, I live in New Haven. I have a 3-year-old daughter. I'm at home now, so you might hear her in the background. This is my first experience with public service of this type, so I'm excited to take advantage of that as well. But I'm excited to hear about other people in the group.
Wonderful. Thank you, Ben. I do want to advise us, we had some challenges in setting up our first meeting. So we are on an account that has a 40-minute time limit, and the meeting was started early for the sake of our first running, making sure that everything was set in place. With that said, we have 7 minutes before this meeting will close out. At that time, when it does close out, please go back to wherever you found this link, whether it was in your email, on the CGA page, or whatever means you had and reconnect by the same link. And then we will continue the meeting from there. Our liaisons at the legislative office do apologize for the inconvenience, but for tonight and tonight only, this is the dance we're going to do. That being said, let us continue on. I did see Andrew, and to not butcher your last name, if you can share with us who you are.
Sure, thank you. Andrew Gearing. I'm honored to be a part of this group. I'm here as someone with a demonstrated interest in advancing the rights and welfare of incarcerated persons. I'm a criminal defense lawyer. For the last 5 years, I've worked as a research attorney at the Federal Public Defender Office. I'm based in and live in New Haven, but I represent clients across the entire state. Today, I met with clients at Hartford Correctional. Tomorrow morning, I'm headed to Corrigan. And I look forward to contributing to the committee based on my experience, and also to consider what I learned from all of you and from this service as I continue to travel around the state, meeting with and working with people who are experiencing incarceration. If there's one thing I've learned from this work, it's the old adage, there but for fortune may go you or I. And I think it's critical we all remember that none of us are any better than anyone experiencing incarceration, and that but for any of a number of circumstances beyond our people's individual control, we might find ourselves in a cell or in a bunk bed in a dorm somewhere in the state. And I also want to note quickly that although the number of people serving sentences in Connecticut's prisons has declined recently, the number of people in pretrial detention has not had a similar decline, which means that an increasing percentage of the people locked up in Connecticut right now are in jail, not prison. In other words, have not been convicted of a crime and are legally innocent. And I think that makes it all the more important that everyone behind bars enjoys the full rights of citizenship. I think that people serving terms of incarceration deserve the full panoply of rights too, but I just point this out because in my opinion, the presumption of innocence has diminished somewhat in the public's view due to the war on drugs and the war on crime. And I think people lose track of that. Many people in jail are legally innocent. And I really look forward to being a part of this work. I consider it essential, and I'm grateful to all of you for your time and for your service as well.
Thank you, Andrew. For the sake of the meeting minutes, I just want to ensure that we did not miss anyone. Is Keisha Velasquez present under any other name? Scott Semple, Reed Kapoor, Melvin Medina. All right, and this is our group for this evening. Before we're cut out and have to rejoin, I do want to acknowledge the presence of Representative Robin Porter. Thank you for joining us this evening. Also like to acknowledge the presence of Barbara Fair, the founder of Stop Solitary CT, and her team who were present with her, who were instrumental in the support of the legislation that created this body. So thank you all for joining us. I'd also like to acknowledge for any of our body members who are not familiar, our legislative liaisons, the individuals who are doing the connection in a lot of the meeting minutes, setting up the webpage, that kind of work, in the persons of Amina Marshall, as well as Kristen, don't let me butcher your last name. Briner?
Yeah, it's perfect.
Awesome, okay.
Love it.
Amina Marshall and Kristen Briner. So if you had any needs in regards to anything concerning the things that you see formatted online, members, those are the individuals you can reach out to. All right, I would like to start, grateful to, thank you. I would like to move to our next agenda item, which is to review I've seen the actual Public Act 22-18. Just wanted to review a few essentials that are listed in that Public Act so we all stand on the same leg before we move into the administration of the oaths. So the summarization of the duties of this particular body are as stands. There is established the Correction Advisory Committee that shall consist of 11 members. The Correction Advisory Committee shall perform the following functions: submit a list of candidates for correction ombuds for the governor's consideration, review the actions of the correction ombuds, meet no less than quarterly to bring matters to the correction ombud's attention, and to consult on the correction ombuds services, findings, and recommendations. and convene semi-annual public hearings to discuss the correction ombuds services, findings, and recommendations. Compensation for this body. Each member shall serve without compensation, but shall within available appropriations be reimbursed for necessary expenses that such member may incur through service on the committee. So thank you all for your volunteerism. A majority, as far as quorum goes, a majority of the members appointed to the Corrections Advisory Committee shall constitute a quorum, which shall be necessary for the committee to conduct business. A majority vote of the members present shall be required for action of the committee. So for us, a quorum is 6 members. We need at least 6 members to move business forward. And terms, finally terms. Each committee member shall serve a 4-year term, except that each initial term shall run for 4 years from February 1st, 2023. Each committee member shall serve up to 2 terms in the event of a vacancy appointment. The members shall be appointed within 30 days and shall serve the remainder of the original member's 4-year term and may be reappointed for up to 2 more terms. All appointments to the committee, including vacancy appointments, shall be filled by the appointing authority having the power to make the original appointment. All right, it looks like our time is running out in less than a minute. Please rejoin and we will move to administering the oaths.